Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Philosopher, Stoic, Teddy Bear. I'm hoping one day we'll get to just calling it PST for short. We'll get there. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Kris Erikson. Kris, man, how are you?
Doing well, man. Good to be back. Missed this.
Welcome back. You had a short hiatus. Where have you been?
I have been working at the BC legislature again. Working for Jordan Keeley now and getting used to it. A bit different, a lot different from One BC. When I did that, I was only at the legislature for a week when we did the documentary and protests and stuff. But this time, I'm there when the session is sitting. I am there. I'm up at 6 a.m. I hit the ground running at 8 o'clock, and I'm usually going until about six o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night, depending on the day's activities. So it's been it's fun. It's not. It's hard to say that. In some ways, as far as most people would think of that kind of a job of being there is not for them. But I enjoy it, and in this capacity, it's a lot different. For me, I'm watching monitors, watching the house, the tiny house, doing a lot of research. My position's research and comms assistant, but it's a good feeling. It's weird because there's something to be said about working for an independent. When I worked for Daryl Pluckus, as when he was speaker, he was also an independent. So not having that, there's far more of a team, and Jordan has put together a great team. There's a lot of similarities between him and Daryl, but I don't want to compare too much here because they are both their own men, and that's kind of what I like. Strong backbone. He speaks his mind. It's refreshing. Limited in what you can do as far as the amount of time he gets to speak for question period and stuff like that. But he's still in there and fighting for his constituents, and I love it. If we had 93 people fighting for their constituents, this province would be in much better shape. So, yeah, and I'll apologize to the audience as well, and I've apologized to you and JP profusely. Tried to do it a couple of times while I was at the ledge, but the internet connection would not allow it to go. So yeah, I'm home now until the 29th. I head back for a week, and then I'm off for a week, and then I'm there for a month, and then a week off, and then 2 more weeks, and then May 30th, I'm back full time. But I'll be here next Tuesday, next Thursday, and if I can work it out while I'm at the ledge to be able to do it with the time change, with you guys moving it to 4 o'clock, should allow me a little bit more wiggle room on being able to do that. Maybe not on Thursdays, but I'm going to shoot for Tuesdays. So it is one of those things. I'll say this. My experience so far has been like 20% of the people in the legislature that I've encountered, they seem to be good people. They're fighting the good fight. They're well aware of the storm, the actual storm, and are trying to do anything to slow it down or to bring issues to light that the people of BC need. But when you got the two parties and the way that they're going, we can talk a little bit about the BC Conservative race if you want in a little bit. But we're likely going to end up with another BC Liberal Party, and then you got the NDP and One BC. But I'm with an independent, and it's fun. It's much more up my alley, and spend a lot of time laughing, which may be hard for you to believe, but you got to let a lot of stuff roll off the backs when you're walking the hallways and you're kind of surrounded by people that are not working for the best interest of the province. So, but you got to get in the game if you want to expect to see any change. And I'm measured in my approach, but I'm learning the ropes, and I feel like I'm settling in well, which is why I took a bit of a delay in actually coming out and announcing it, because I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm doing something when it's really not something that is going to work out. But yeah, I like working for Jordan. The team he's put together are a fantastic group, and I look forward to it. Even though it's do I feel like I need to wear Kevlar? No, but maybe taking some ivermectin before I walk the halls, might be good to keep those that are clearly parasites out of my range. That's all I
No
got.
names. No names.
No. Not going to name any names. You'd be surprised. There's actually some people in the NDP that seem to be good people, right? Some of them look very automatonish, kind of just on script, but there's a couple there that I'm pretty sure have souls, which is great to see. So, anyways, go ahead.
Just in case anyone's wondering, JP had a sort of an emergency last minute, and he won't be able to join us today. So it's just Kris and myself. Kris, why don't we start in BC? I'm just exhausted about talking about Iran. What is going on in the legislature? It feels like they stole all the land in Vancouver, and nobody's aware of this. Are they even talking about this in the legislature?
Yeah, I think Dallas and actually all of them. right? Dallas and Tara have raised the issue. Jordan has commented on it briefly. But you all, like, I see, like, for one of my jobs is when question period is on, I go up, I'm in the press gallery, I'm Keith Baldry and all the rest of them are there. My job is to wait for after question period and go and do the interviews. And when this first hit, especially when David Eby was pretending that he didn't know what he was there for, he didn't even openly admit that he was there until pictures came out. The conservatives were hammering on it, but it's very much like the channel changing is frustrating, right? Because you don't want to I get it. You don't want to have people standing up every day at question period and saying the same thing. But I don't like how it pivots where, oh, here's the issue of the day that we're going to hammer on. I'd like to see more of a spread out to keep issues alive. But yeah, like the Musqueam thing came out of nowhere. To suggest that the NDP didn't know, I don't buy it. Like David Eby was literally invited by Chief Sparrow of Musqueam to attend, to witness, right? And David Eby still to this day, Spencer Shander Herbert he's the Minister of Indigenous Relations. So when somebody asks him a question in question period, he gets up and just says, it was a federal deal. We haven't seen the details. And it's like, come on, you guys, really? You're really going to want to piss on our legs and tell us it's raining? Like, how is that even possible in this day and age where you have this situation? It's not like if it was a conservative government, you could, they're playing politics, no. It's like you have this entire, like the primest real estate in BC now tabled, right? And they're saying they're not going to come after fee simple land. But again, the way it's being done, like with Cowichan, you just throw it out there and it creates anxiety amongst all the people in this province. And unnecessarily, I think, people, there's consequences to doing land acknowledgements. Well, yeah, but at the same time, you have all these people that have all of this real estate. I saw Mark Nixon's post about it, as far as, this is my inheritance that I'm going to be leaving to my children. I'm trying to build a family here. What are you guys doing? Right. And the flippant nature of the way the NDP has handled it is costing them a lot in the polls, if you want to believe the polls. But that goes beyond the point, right? It's like, are we in reality or are we in the land of make-believe? And they want to keep pushing that on so many issues. They want to keep pushing it. Oh, this is the new normal. It's like, no, it's not, you guys. There was no discussion. There was no public disclosure of this. There was no public consultation. You're just going to do it and say, don't worry, right? Watch the real estate market, right? The lenders, right? There's no certainty. And we already have enough problems with investing or bringing in capital because of the inability to get projects off the ground when it comes to natural resources and other things, which, again, First Nations have always had, not always, but over the past 20 years or so, they're very involved. If they don't want a project to go ahead, it won't. But at the same time, man, I feel for the people that own property. I'm not in the same position as a lot of people, but it breaks my heart. And all the anxiety unnecessarily being thrown at the people, and all these guys, they just keep collecting their money, pretending that they didn't know, right? Even with the Cowichan, there was no consultation between the provincial government, and there was no public notifications. It was all done behind closed doors, right? And that's the way that the NDP works. And when you see Bill 9 that the NDP's introduced, changing the Freedom of Information Act. That act was super hard for me to get information in from 2012 to 2018, when I was really active in that side of the advocacy world. Now they're changing it where all of the language is, if your request is reasonable, then we'll take a look at it, but we're going to define what reasonable is. So they're locking everything down in a way that is not good for the people. And I've never seen a government operate this way. Although I haven't been paying as close attention, being in the belly of the beast now, where I'm actually reading the bills and I'm watching the debates and stuff that happen in second reading. None of this makes any sense to me outside of them locking power down. No different than what Carney's doing on the federal level, but the subversive and insidious way that they're going about it, and it's one after another, right? It's very hard to keep up. We don't have the numbers in the legislature to stop anything. The Green Party did cancel their supply agreement with the NDP, but it still doesn't give the Greens the power to be able to stop anything the NDP wants to do. And so they just keep bombshell after bombshell notifications of this is happening, and all these bills are in the process of becoming law. And so it's going to be a lot harder for us to actually know what's going on behind the scenes. So I'll leave it there.
I'm trying to get you to explain to me, is this the proof of the existence of evil? Like, what is going through the minds of these NDP shitheads these fucking monsters. Or am I wrong? Or are they between a rock and a hard place? Have every Has every NDP candidate have had one child that's been abducted by the cartel and they're holding them hostage and they're saying you will keep your mouth shut? Are they like rabid communists and this is what they want? Are they the dumbest people on the planet, like that Gary communist hamster guy?
Mhm.
What's going on? Help me out.
Well, I think it's one of those things that it's the problem with the party system and self-interest. Because I think some of them know what they're doing is not in the best interest of the people. Do I think they all know how bad it is? Probably not. A lot of them are just there, check, pension, right? I go to some of these receptions and it's like they're like lobbying receptions, but they're all in the public. It's all announced, right? There's no behind the scenes deals that I've witnessed anyways. But it's all free food, free liquor. They all hang out. It's like high school. It is literally like high school watching these people interact. Some of them, like I said, I can point. I'm not going to name names, but some of them that I've met on from all the different parties, they're trying, and at the very least, with the NDP, it's a bit different because the whipping that goes on there. Because some of them, like when I'm watching question period or I'm watching them debate, it's kind of like, is there anything really in there? Right? Like, do you actually even know what you're saying, or you're just reading, or you're being told what to say? Have you been handed a script? And in a lot of cases, I'm sure that is the case. But when I was in politics before, yeah, there was like, I wouldn't have called them outright communists 10 years ago. Well, 10, 15 years ago. I wouldn't have called them communists, right? I could still talk to them. I didn't directly work for the NDP, but I'd have people reaching out from the NDP, from the Green Party, from the Conservatives and Liberals back then. Well, there was no Conservative Party, but yeah, like it didn't matter to me. It was all about the merit towards the issue and can I take it on? But there was still it seemed to me at the very least, the issues that they wanted to have addressed when I was doing that work, they were actually looking out for taxpayer money. They were looking out for corruption within not-for-profits and within the private sector. They were trying to do things, but politicians are limited in what they can do, especially if the party whip and the people at the top are completely gone, which, David Eby, again, how that guy is still in power. He should be in prison for the safe supply and all the deaths that have occurred from the overdoses. Right, what happened during COVID? I know he wasn't a part of that. Like, he was a part of it, but he wasn't premier when all that was going on. He was towards the tail end. But I've never seen someone be so detached from the reality that is in front of you. Right, and so you have to ask yourself: is he detached, or is that his goal? Is this what he wants? Like, what part of this province is in a better position since he took over? No one can name a thing, yet this guy still clings to power. And it's amazing to me because everyone protects them. I'm hoping, because there are some people in the NDP that seem to be done with it. Like, I can't name names, right? But there are people there that I think you're going to probably be seeing behind the scenes. We won't see it, but people are going to start to push to get Eby out because he is so toxic. He's just like Trudeau. In a sense, Trudeau was brutal, but at the same, and Trudeau has had more than what David Eby has as far as selling himself as an actual effective leader. Everything he touches burns. And so how do you look at that and say, is he incompetent? No, this guy's a lawyer. He used to be the attorney general. He's a very smart man. You can't claim stupid. You look at Trudeau and you're kind of like, well, okay,
Chris,
go ahead.
the question I'm at, you mentioned that some of the NDP are going to turn on Eby. Are they
Potentially.
upset that their friends and family members are losing their land, or are they upset that EB can't effectively sell the NDP message? There's a big difference there.
I would say probably 10% of them are upset about that. The other 90% are focused on getting reelected, and they think that he's going to tank the ship. That's just the way that the politics is. They want 4 years. You run to get elected, but it's about getting reelected, which equals your pension. It's so gross. Literally, that's a lot of them. They only care about that. They want the spotlight. They want the pension. They want the perks. They could give a shit about the people that elected them or people that they're supposed to be working for. Because again, they swear allegiance to the monarchy, not the people that elect them. Jordan, on the other hand, I'm representing Peace River North, and he's doing it. He's representing his people. But there's such a weird detachment because again, we can talk about it like, okay, what are the potential influences? We got China, we got the WEF, we got the globalists. Like, BC is a perfect place. Well, of course you would target it for the resources, for the beauty that is our province, right? It is like a jewel when it comes to what our province has to offer these globalists if they want it, even just for, they could even divide it up like mobsters. Oh, India gets this part, China gets this part, right? Whatever group. But you don't have people in the legislature defending us and our homes and the food, inflation. I know a lot of that has to do with the federal government, but still, BC, $13.3 billion, and we're not going to an election, right? Like, it makes no sense. Like, how can you sign off on that? Well, when you've got no checks and balances and you've got nothing but, I would say a large portion of them are just, I can't clinically diagnose, but super high narcissistic traits. They in their minds think, oh, as long as I'm in power and I go along to get along, I'll be fine. Look at history. Is that how it works? Absolutely not. You're not fine. Your family is not fine. You're setting them up for most of them are probably going to be, when they retire, they're going to, I'm going to leave the province. There's no loyalty to the people. And that's what's sad. No one's fighting. Even on the conservative side, you got a bunch of these old guard liberals that helped, right? Gordon Campbell, I think, was one of the people that was the person that introduced the land acknowledgements, right? And you got a whole bunch of these people from the Christy Clark era, all the money laundering and all the speculation, like they're all buying houses. Oh, you got some inside information, so you're going to stock up on some real estate and then cash out later. Well, there's no checks and balances, and it's sad. That's why for me, it's like, okay, you got to be in there. And if one thing, right, that you can do as us, right, is irritate them. Let them know that right? Because again, are you trying to poke their souls and try and say, oh, there's a good person in there, you just got to change? Maybe some of them, but you'll get kicked out of the party. Like we saw during COVID, Randy Hillier, Derek Sloan, right? If you don't toe the line for the establishment, you get booted and you're not going to get reelected, right? That's for the most part what the way they work. So everything's all locked down. There's no way in hell the NDP did not know with the Cowichan decision it was going to affect Be Simple. There's no way, right? All these.
What do you call that guy? Is it the Speaker of the House in provincial parliament?
Yeah.
Is it just me? The guy can't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he from?
But I think he's from India. The funny part is he trained me as a union bargaining agent back in 2004. He was the guy.
So you're compromised for the question I'm about to ask.
Oh no. Like again, like he know.
All right, let's go to an easy question. Johnny Tightlips says
you can't leave it there because it's gonna get clipped. You got to ask the question, man. You got to fire away. I got nothing to hide.
Moving to our sponsors. JT says, "Good day, gentlemen. Welcome back, Kris."
Mm-hmm. Good to be back.
What else is he saying? Perhaps they know we are nothing more than a resource colony being milked and never truly had sovereignty. And the best they think they can do is work for the state and do its bidding. What are your thoughts? Like, this is my question. Are they really like that corrupt?
Evidence would suggest. Survey says, right? Like, there's no. It's either they're corrupt. It's like probably a combination. Like I said, there's some people in there that still seem to have like an energy to them that is not void of emotion. Like they're not. I don't. Again, it's like I'm intuitive. I have a lot of empathy, right? So to see a lot of them, just that vacant look in their eyes. There's a lot of them in there that are like that. But I think that it's like a combination of fear, corruption, self-interest, just that and don't rock the boat kind of thing. Like, I don't know if it's a prerequisite to hire people without a spine, right? There's a few people in there that I'm quite confident that if they stood up, they could rock the boat. They could probably have David Eby removed behind the scenes if they did make that move. Does that mean they're going to be a better leader, or are they just going to take the same communist approach? Right. And so if that's the case, which is likely the case, whoever takes over is probably, they're going to keep doing DEI. They're going to keep doing the gender stuff. They're going to keep doing the land. They're going to stick to that as long as they possibly can. But the tide will turn very quickly. It is already turning when it comes to, you're going to mess with people's land. Okay. So if we didn't own it, then give us our money back. You've been stealing from us. All the taxes that have been paid on that, for that security. It was an investment based on false premise. The lawyers are going to have a field day. The industry is going to have a field day. But at the same time, How can you do that to the people and not be viewed as treason? Honestly, and again, it's funny because people are like, oh, I believe Canada was built, not stolen. Right. So what's the alternative that could have happened, right? If back in the day, what happened in America? There's a difference between being colonized and conquered. So all these people that are like, oh, it's our land. It's really, there was a good faith aspect to it as far as that goes, in my opinion. When the British were rolling across, when all, when the colonization was happening, if they thought, 150 years later, you're gonna be like, that's not your house, that's mine. What do you think would have happened? And would I wanted to see that happen? No, but I think there's such an overreach in regards to what they're doing. And it's not fair to the division that it's causing, because they want the racial tensions, they want the divide, they feed off of it. It's like pure fuel for narcissism. If we can just keep poking, like what JP used to say, right? If you put the red ants and the black ants in the jar, they're fine. Shake it and see what happens. And that's all this government seems to want to do. Both sides, federal and provincial, is just keep poking and poking and poking and saying, what are you going to do about it? Right? Like mob bosses, because there really isn't anything we can do about it. Law enforcement doesn't want to act. Our institutions have been compromised to such a degree that is there even any validity left when you see the Human Rights Tribunal, $750,000 for having an opinion? Huh? we're like the petri dish for insanity when it comes to government. And I think that it's like the willingness of the people of British Columbia to actually tolerate this. You see the protests. Oh, there's an Iranian, protest for Iran. Holy crap, there's people everywhere, right? There's a pro-Palestine or, whatever. And the people come out and it's like, where are you now? When it comes to rights, when it comes to what actually like affects you, all the stuff that doesn't affect you directly, you got to get out there and protest, for the other people. But look around as your neighbors crumble and people flee and take all the capital away from this province, because there's absolute malicious, it seems, intent towards the people of this province by the government. Go ahead.
I just don't think it's just the province. I mean, federally, well, first of all, this problem was caused by the federal government, and then we got these censorship laws coming in. I got into a fight with my dad. Like he had a medical condition and he needed life-saving surgery and he couldn't get a doctor. And he turns to me, he's like, Peyman, I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. Why can't I get a doctor? And I was angry, and I told him, I'm like, well, why didn't you stand up for me during COVID? Why did you folded, and now the government knows that they can get away with everything? And he didn't really like that. He didn't want to hear that. But my question is, have you seen a single pitchfork in Victoria? Like, is anybody coming out yet?
No, not yet. I can see, like, because I keep an eye still on 1BC, that they seem to be getting decent crowds coming out, more of the the senior population. But at the same time, that's good, because most people are like, oh, the boomers, this kind of thing, all the labels, and they're just so detached, they all watch CBC. But you see that there, and there's not like a
Speaking of people in the baby boomer generation, Mr. Andre Deloche, thank you for reposting the stream.
Good to see you, Andre. Thank you for the repost. But there's not that level of anger yet, because I think people are confused still, right? And yes, it's federal, right? And you see them, their land issues popping up in Quebec and Ontario, other things. Like, this is just the beginning of it, and we have like, that's the problem with what we're facing in BC, is because you had the former Conservative leader, John Rostad, who's still in the party. He signed over 400 agreements with First Nations, right? They were very much pro land acknowledgement, pro a lot of these policies that are super destructive towards the children with regards to the trans ideology, all that, lunacy. Leave the kids alone. And so you have now, our only hope, right, was, okay, we'll have a conservative. I don't want to say only hope, because again, the elections, we can talk to Remanded about whether or not our elections are free and fair, but we don't have like a consolidated opposition voice in the legislature. Ironically, it's the same thing federally. So, okay, is everyone captured? Right, we're going to see on May 30th who's going to be the new leader, and it's going to be probably Caroline Elliott, maybe Peter Millibar, that is going to win Liberals. And so they won't ever allow a true populist conservative movement, which you need.
Caroline Levitt, is that the one that's like sort of milk toast? She's quite attractive, probably 40s, late 40s, blonde hair. Is that the one?
You're kind of cutting out.
Which one? Who do you think is going to win the BC Conservative Party race?
You cut out on me a little bit there. Caroline Elliott is.
Yeah, Caroline Elliott. Is she the one
You're
with
cutting
blonde
out on me.
hair?
The audio. No, she's got brown hair. Harman Bangu just endorsed her. I think she's like the sister-in-law of Kevin Falcon from the BC United, BC Liberal,
Yeah.
Christy Clark era.
Okay. Well, maybe I was off on the hair color, but she's relatively attractive. She's like between 40 and 50. She looks like the former interim leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Candice Bergen.
Okay.
Is that her?
Yeah, that's her.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was
now,
very supportive of the gender ideology stuff. She's changed her tune now, apparently. Soji, right?
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up. Like, she strikes me as she's saying the right things to win. So she's saying all the right things. Like, we have to oppose land declarations. We have to oppose transgender ideology.
Mm-hmm.
But I get the feeling she's really squishy. I reached out to her and I asked her to come on. And I think she looks at people like you, me, and JP, and she's like, "Oh, these guys are far right wing MAGA extremists."
Yeah. And again, it's like, to me, it's like if you're a part of the old guard, BC Liberals, BC United, it's not what our province needs. We need like a genuine, clear. I'm not talking like purity test kind of thing, but on the base level, we need a strong fiscal conservative, a strong social conservative, right? Not even necessarily like faith-based. Like, again, I don't really want to get into that, but at least, like having like a general morality to them, a level of principle. You might not agree with what they say, but at least they're still willing to say it, not just to get elected. It's like, you need to know who these people are. That's why I can't trust Poilievre. I don't know who the guy is. He waits for polls to have an opinion. So what are you then? Like, I don't know who you are as a person. If you're not willing to put your balls on the table and say, "Hey, I'm here, let's dance." Okay, phrasing. But at the same time, they're all fake to me, right? I think, there's like Warren Ham is still in the race. I think he's a genuine conservative. I think Karen Lee Finley, although she has again, I don't want to use that as a complete knock, because what I've heard her say, and the same thing, like Karen Lee Finley would probably be someone that would bring more of a traditional like an actual conservative mindset to the table. All I want, man, is whoever wins to kick out. You guys go and have a Liberal Party. Get out. Like, this is ridiculous that we're having to have this discussion where you're Liberals. You're using the Conservative brand. You took it over. You could argue it was a hostile takeover when you look at what happened at the AGM. Like, they were stacking buses and they're changing the rules and all this kind of stuff to make sure they maintain power. It's the establishment. These BC Liberals, they are the establishment that does not want to have an actual true conservative movement at the table. And they're going to keep doing it. And so after May 30th, if you got a Liberal, then it's like you got two establishment parties, right? It'd be interesting to see what they actually say. Do they oppose anything, or are they just there for their checks, their pensions, protecting Agenda 30 to make sure we get across the finish line? I don't know. But I'm still going to get up every morning, drink my coffee, play some Guns N' Roses, and then head to work. Go ahead. What do you got?
We got two comments. Clown World, sort of like Lanceman, LOL. I don't know. She's talking about that lady?
Melissa Lanceman with the Conservatives.
No, I know, but I don't know who she means is like Lanceman. I mean,
probably Christine Elliott.
Yeah. Andre Meloche has a funny comment. Attractive women in politics will transform the political world into an OnlyFans network. I support that. At least it'll be something a little bit more interesting.
I don't care if you're a man, if you're a woman. I care if you can define what a man and a woman is. I don't care what you look like, how you dress. Just stop messing around. Like, we need adults in the room that are willing to actually minds to actually take on the main issues. Get self out of the room. Get your at the door. We are a massive storm, right? Going to get worse. And if we don't have adults in the room, man, like the clock is literally ticking. Even if they bump it to 2035 instead of Agenda 2030, we are still facing something where, we look at the numbers. You don't even see the conservatives like actually fighting against the MAID. Like, we can bounce all over the place. 100,000 people have used MAID in the last year or so. Like, guys, what are we doing? All this, and the majority of the people are white, right? So it's like, and no one's seriously trying to take a look at the immigration. I was at Metrotown. I went to visit my dad. I was at Metrotown, and I was like part of the 0.05% of Europeans in that mall. Everyone was either Chinese, from China, or from India. And I'm not being racist. This is reality. Go to Metrotown and walk around.
Hey, you could have gone to Metrotown 25 years ago. It was like 95% Chinese.
95, maybe 80. 20 years ago.
The good old days when it was only 80%. Yeah.
But again, we don't have anybody serious talking. And again, this is not a broad brush. I know a lot of people left China because of the country. Again, it's like, I'm looking around though, and I'm just saying, and most of the people that are homeless are European or indigenous, right? So it's this weird, this
white people
world.
White people are fighting back. They got a monopoly on the homelessness. They got a monopoly on MAID. They're making a comeback.
I want my piece. I want my cut. So yeah, but if we don't do something, we're all, at least not us, maybe not, but your children, your grandchildren, your complacency and your sense of it's not going to affect me, so I can just keep going along with my life. The politicians that are just selling everybody out left and right. Nothing happens. No arrests. Okay. So what do? You have to, it's all about attitude and perception, right? If you focus on what you have and yearn for what you don't, then you're kind of like part of the game. But if you get up every morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, okay, I got another one. Who can I irritate today? That's a part of the establishment, right? Do good, right? Do as much as you can. Help your neighbor, help somebody in the community, help yourself, most importantly. But on the other side, there's someone that you can get under their skin because that they know that they're screwing you over, right? I'm not talking violence. It can be simply a glare. It can be simply a response online to point things out, because they just keep beating people down. And like you said, we were talking earlier, it's like our viewership is down. Like, a lot of people I've seen complaining about that, right? Like you mentioned earlier, behind stage, they want that. They want us to give up. They want us to hang our heads. They want us to think that we have no value. And I say, who the fuck do you think you are? In that, I have value. You have value. Sorry for the language, right? They want us to be demoralized. They're using every trick in the book. They've had practice, but it's up to us, right? And it's up to us to be those that do shine the light, because if we don't, then all the people that have no hope, they are never going to see any kind of light. They're never going to see any reason to smile again. They're not going to see the vivid colors when they go outside into nature, right? Yeah, we're in it. Some people want to pretend we're not. Some people want to pretend that the people who put us here are going to fix it. Are you kidding me? Those are the most frustrating people to deal with. Poilievre's on Rogan. Everything's great. Really? Okay.
Like that meme, that guy's in the kitchen that it's on fire. He's like, this is fine.
Exactly.
All right, we got Andre Maloche is trying to get us to go to jail, all three of us together, when Bill C9 passes. He says, Landsman is attractive? Damn, no wonder there are so many Canadian gay men. Thanks, Andre. I will share. I look forward to sharing a jail cell with you, brother.
I'm not even touching that.
I see what Tim says. Elliot is a full-blown Zionist. I'm anti-cults in politics. Leave your religion at home. Agree with Kris. Adults only, and enough of this.
I didn't know she was a full-blown Zionist. I didn't know that.
Is that the blonde/brunette woman? I keep forgetting the name of. Yeah.
I think she's in the lead for leadership race for the Conservatives. Yeah, and I agree as well. Leave your religion at home, right? Like, again, like I'm not. That's why I love that. Like, for the longest time, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I don't care. You want to come. You want to practice your religion, as long as you're not hurting people in our society. It's none of my business. You do you. Same with what you do in your bedroom when it comes to those things. I don't care, as long as you're not a minor or doing things to minors. What you do, I don't care. Honestly, I don't want to know. But it doesn't mean you can't carry your values, your religious values, the 10 Commandments. I am not religious. I'm spiritual. But I look at the 10 Commandments. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Go ahead.
With Zionism, I have no problem if people this is going to be controversial. I have no problem with them sharing their Christian views and trying to get people like Ten Commandment thing. But when you're coming out and you're saying, all right, we have to go to war in the Middle East because these are God's chosen people, I'm like, how about we deal with the fentanyl issue at home first, and then we can talk about a crusade.
Yeah, I agree. Right? We shouldn't be. Like, if our house was in order, we can talk about that. But at the same time, I'm very Switzerland in my approach. I very rarely talk about geopolitical issues because it's not my place. Like, I can be somewhat well versed in some things. But at the same time, I kind of want to leave that because we have so much going on here. I don't mind talking about America because, again, there's a lot of intertwined components to Canada and to the US. But when I look overseas, it's like, what just happened with Iran? Like, I'm trying again, but 30 years ago, Peyman, I was told Iran was 2 weeks away. And then 20 years ago, I was told Iran was 2 weeks away from having nuclear capabilities. 10 years ago, Peyman, right? Who benefits? The financial industrial complex, like that video, the military industrial complex, right? And who gets caught in the middle? And it's a fantastic distraction. Not to say, again, like, I'd love your feedback on that. Obviously, that there are things that were going on in Iran that are not good for the people. But there's a ton of shit going on here that is not good for the people. So why are you guys filling the streets for Iran when our people are dying in this country from MAID, from drugs, from hopelessness, from the damage they did to us 6 years ago, that what they won't acknowledge? They just keep going along carrying freaking kettlebells. Look at the flag. It's so great. It's like, dude, I know what you are. I saw you. We all saw you. But you guys just keep pretending that it's not happening here. Canada's like this weird ass simulation. Like, all the NPCs are just like, must protest things that are not actually affecting my life, can't protest things that actually are affecting my life. Maybe they're scared of the government because of what happened during the Emergencies Act. I'll go back to you. I just can't figure it out, man. I just know we got a lot of work to do, and it drives me freaking crazy. No, we shouldn't be giving money to Ukraine. No, we shouldn't be doing whatever we're doing overseas. Bring everyone home. Let's have a big party. And then let's fix our own country before we start looking outwards. Go ahead.
Andre's in the comments. He always says it's like they update the SIM card. Like you push an update, and then the people. It's like Ukraine, Salva Ukraine flag, Orange man bad, Canada flag. Oh, Palestine, Iran. No, Iran monarchy flag. It's elbows up. It's like the people, they can't keep track. Can you imagine? Like, you show up at the protest, you got the wrong flag. You're like, well, I thought it was Thursday. No, it's Friday.
Friday.
It's the Friday flag. You got it wrong, bro.
And they got the other flag in the car, right? I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 5 minutes. Right? It's ridiculous. It's
an existential crisis for the left. They got the wrong flag. Oh my God. How are we going to vanquish the far right extremists if we don't have the right flag?
Exactly. And if you're watching this and you're not from Canada, oh my God, invite us on your shows. Peyman, JP, myself. Seriously, it is that crazy here. The ability, like Andre said, that updated SIM card. It's what's the next thing, and everyone, or at least they can create the illusion that everyone is got it going. I'm not saying, like, seriously, like I they do exist. To what degree that those people exist, I think is exaggerated because they want us to think that we're the minority. But I think the majority of the apathetic population that stopped voting or never voted just doesn't want to be a part of that system. I think we are in the majority. We just don't realize it. And there's no way for us to actually contact the people, actually organize behind it, because there's always someone that gets in the way, that they always hijack it and spin it so that we don't have an actual chance to come together. But it's insane. Andre, I agree completely. And I agree with Clown World as well, too. It's like,
what the Landsman comment?
No, it says, I never any time in life felt that Canada was a potentially jeopardy due to Iran. Maybe I'm missing something.
Oh, I was watching a podcast with Catherine Austin Fitz. She said, like, Iran had 3 naval ships and America took them out, no problem. But there's a shadow fleet off of San Francisco right now. America can they can drill like several miles into the ground for fracking, but they can't take out like Palestinian Hamas tunnels. It's
right?
like they're not even trying anymore. It's like they're showing up to work hungover every day. The narratives are they're
Well,
falling
without a
apart.
bad guy, you have no one to sell. There's no reason to say we need to buy all these weapons, right? Like again, there's like so much follow the money, whether it's international banking, the monetary system, IMF, all these different. There's so much shit going on behind the scenes. What I did find interesting though was uh, there was a video, but again, my buddy that I went and had dinner with in Vancouver on my way home, he's like, it's crazy. Did you know that Iran has like a ton of $50,000 drones, right? And every single time they release a drone, the States has to use a $5 million missile to shoot it down. like, like the ability. Again, I'm looking at it going, okay, right? Like there is a funny component to that as far as the seriously, I didn't realize that. Oh, just send a fleet out there and they lose $250,000. 5 drones get shot down, but it costs $25 million of taxpayer money in America to do that. It makes no
Yeah.
sense to me. And again, Iran is a different beast. If you want to fill the audience in, this is not Iraq. This is not Afghanistan. Iran, yes, they took out the leadership, but again, the power vacuum has already been filled. And again, it wasn't. I think even the Ayatollah was installed by America. We can go. I'm not entirely sure if that's exactly what happened back in the day. But again, it's not one of those things where there's no exit strategy. I don't know why they went in. Honestly, it came out of nowhere, conveniently knocking the Epstein files right off the table when it comes to what was actually being disclosed. So what are your thoughts on that? Like in comparison, can you give the audience an idea as far as the difference between Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran when it comes to the military capabilities and the struggles that America will have in that war zone?
Honestly, I'm kind of dumbfounded to try to understand what Trump was doing, what his goal was. Trump's not, contrary to what people think that hate him, he's not that stupid. Like they told him it's going to be difficult going in, but he went in anyway, and it's just going really badly. Um, I just don't know if it's even worth talking about anymore because, like, if you look on X, there's like hundreds of spaces, and everyone's all of a sudden an Iran expert, and they're sharing their opinion. They're either saying like America's on its last knees, or if it's pro-Israel, like we need to get Iran out. They've killed 30,000 people, and it's just I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's like things. It's like I can look over there and I can watch all the media and have all these labels. Bad people are bad. I'm like, okay. So what's my experience been with Iranians in my life? All positive. Honestly, like when I was getting my ass kicked for being lippy in high school, I joined a gym, and it was Champions on Lonsdale, run by Ingrid and Farid Dordar. The place was full of Iranians. Did I care? Did I identify with them as that? No. Right. Well, there was like Persian Pride gang elements that I didn't know until the end, not with the sensei and stuff, but just again, it was one of those things. They taught me how to fight. The level of discipline, the level of morality, they even said, if we ever find out you're using this in an offensive manner, you will never be welcome back. Like there was such an amazing experience. Think about it, right? I'm 15 years old. I'm lippy. I'm getting jumped by 5 or 6 people, and it was never one-on-one pussies, but that was my experience. I went there every day after school when I couldn't afford to pay. They didn't care, right? Like it was like a family unit. They didn't care that I was white.
I
There was
remember that
nothing.
place, Champions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was back when North Vancouver wasn't as built up, and it was relatively fine. Now it's that area. I would never want to live there. It's like downtown Vancouver. It's an urban center.
Right across from the C bus. Yeah, it was on. I think it was on when I first joined. It was on, I think, 11th in Lonsdale, and then they got too big and they moved to 3rd in Lonsdale. This huge gym, and it was a massive. But yeah, it was still safe. You could even walk around at night, and it was not a problem. I wouldn't do that now, right, without having a mag light or something on me, right, just in case.
A mag light, that's probably more dangerous than a knife.
It is. Those D cell batteries carry a lot of weight.
I want to bring this guy up because his name is Dot, or maybe a period. I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Love it.
And there is the problem. Everyone is chasing different virtues. So how can we deal with problems when they come when there is not Canadian virtue? Okay, I'll be honest.
Oh,
I only brought it up because the name was kind of interesting.
I
But
like the I like the icon as well too. The
yeah, yeah, you can't.
ancestor.
What is that? Like a Indian burial ground kind of thing?
Well, I think it's again,
Alien?
please correct us, but it looks like an alien with an Indian headdress. If
Oh,
I'm
okay.
wrong,
Maybe aliens will
maybe.
come here and claim that they're the true owners and they had first title.
What if they're already here?
Oh,
I don't fucking
the
know.
lizard people.
Google
Um,
Admiral Berg.
yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Andre Milosh. Iran has 2 weeks to flatten the curve. 2 weeks to flatten the U.S. military bases. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going to go on in Iran. Like they seemingly they're winning, and all of their neighbors don't really have a military. But I don't know, man. All it takes is one nuke to change that.
And again, it's like it's weird. Like this might even be controversial. Does Israel have nukes? Like some sides you're not allowed to talk about that. I'm like, yeah, I think it's relevant. We need to know, right? Again, it's like, why are we playing these games? Because again, just because it's like I'm almost 50, I'm like 49 in 4 days, and it's like when you see the movie, and it's every 5-10 years, it's the same bloody movie over and over again. It's like the longer you're on this planet, the more you see the patterns. And who gets people are like, oh well, you never comment on the Russia-Ukraine thing. Because first of all, it's none of my business. I don't want my money going there. I don't want your money going there. We shouldn't be funding it at all. Period. Nope. Done. But am I a fan of Putin? No. Like again, I don't know the man. I've never met him. I look at am I a fan of Zelensky? No.
You know,
What
I got kicked out of a hotel once because Putin wanted to stay there.
interesting.
I was in a hotel room. I was staying there for several months, and they're like, "Mr. Askari, you got to leave." I'm like, "What do you mean I got to leave the Putin?" So I had to leave, and I
Yeah.
went to some like dumpy motel for 3 nights, and then Putin finally left.
Yeah, it's a thing too. It's like what I again, I have no misplaced sense of importance, but I would love to have a conversation with him, like Tucker Carlson, other people. Like, let's have dialogue. Let's do this. Zelensky, again, I think it's like an actor I've seen. Like again, but would I still be curious to sit down with him? Absolutely, I would. They want us to say they say Orange Man bad, you got to hate Trump. Oh, Putin bad, you got to hate him. It's like I am going to use this. And I have no basis. It's none of my business. What bothers me is the people that are always caught in the middle, the innocent people that get to be viewed as cattle, that get to be viewed as acceptable losses. Acceptable losses to the establishment doesn't include you and me.
Yeah, but Chris, acceptable losses. It's no longer just brown people in the Middle East. It's come to Canada. All the people that lost their land in
Mhm.
Vancouver, that's acceptable losses. All the people that got ostracized during COVID,
Yeah,
acceptable losses. All the people going through lawfare. It's just uh,
asymmetrical, right? Different,
they
but it's
they've
there.
stripped us of our humanity.
Some I'm going down with my heart on my sleeve, saying you ain't got nothing on me. Again, it's one of those things that I think it's maybe because I've been like conditioned that way to walk down the dark alleys to take on the stuff that no one else would. Because again, I have no misplaced sense of importance. If no one else is willing to do it, then someone's got to do it. And what we don't have right now in our political landscape is people that are willing to sacrifice your career. Really, I've had some like by the time you're 50, what do they say? You usually have 5 or 6 careers. Our politicians, right? Become mayor, become an MLA, become an MP. You retire with a golden parachute.
Yeah,
And if you play ball, you've got a cushy 3 or 4 board positions that'll pay you 10, 12 grand a year just to sit and show up once a month. Right. It's all this racket. Right. And they look down on us. They look at us like we're nothing. But that's why, 6 years into this, longer for
they
many
gotta
people that have been awake.
we gotta make the salaries of these mayors like donation based. So if I like the guy, maybe I'll throw a couple of dollars his way. He can set
Yeah.
up a Give Send Go account, but this is not working where they just take it out of our tax money.
Hmm. Yeah. Because again, the incentives are there to play ball. It's one of those things. It's like there's people out there, yes, that run for noble reasons, right? Okay, are they the minority? Yeah. Okay, but there's also those that run for noble reasons, and then they get there and they're like, I'm at the freaking cool table. You're going to pay for everything. I get to have power, all of the spotlight. You're going to give me a pension if I do this for 6 years? Really? And then the soul is gone. It's gone. And they have all the people around them. It's just keep your mouth shut. You're 3 years away from your pension. You're 4 years, right? You're 2 years in. Just keep your mouth shut. You got to get reelected. You can't do that. Right? That's probably what the party whips say to a lot of people that want to do something, but then they're told you can't do it because you have a family. That pension provides you with that parachute. So there's like this grotesque nature to it. I agree, right? Yes, they would. You'd actually get, if it was done by donation, because there's so many people. Like you look at the different industries, like even like you look at nursing, you look at social work, you look at a lot of those industries that are like pure, like I don't want to say all of them because social work has been very distorted with the DEI and the SOGI stuff. But a lot of them, they work until they burn out. They care so much, they get paid so little, right? Those are the kinds of people that you actually need that are actually, they're not doing it for the money. They want to help improve people's lives. Politicians, I've met a few. I used to be able to say I can't name one, but you talk to Randy Hillier, you talk to Derek Sloan, you meet guys like Jordan Keeley. You see, like again, I don't agree with everything Dallas says or does. Do I have bad words to say about her? No. Same thing with Tara, right? Like there's people out there that have the ability to make a difference. You just got to have the courage to stand by your convictions and accept the consequences, because there's always consequences to going against the establishment. It's just a matter of whether or not you're willing to get on the field and say, I don't care. Bring it. I'm just going to be me. I'm going to do what I think is right. I'm going to be able to look at myself in the mirror in the morning. Too many people, Peyman, self-interest, and probably
gotta
black
call the
belt.
herd.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
All right, let's go to Alice Not Woke. She's a loyal viewer. What has she's got to say? Hi guys, I just showed up, but isn't Iran currently blowing up American companies such as Google and Amazon in Iran? Is it possible it's not about the people, but taking out certain deep state infrastructure companies owned by evil globalists? I kind of get what you're saying. I imagine that Google and Amazon wouldn't be in Iran because they're American companies and they can't operate in Iran. But they this theory that like they're trying to get, they've made a deal with the U.S. where the U.S. will be like, all right, we'll leave the Middle East and we'll focus on Fortress America. It just seems too convenient.
Yeah. But to take the point, okay, what she's saying, there is merit to that as far as that infrastructure. I'm not saying take them out and blowing them up. I'm just saying that you have to acknowledge that technocracy is there, right? Because again, we saw with what is it Bill C-22 now that the federal government is now saying, oh, to the law enforcement, saying first of all to the data providers, you will keep our metadata for a year.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like, so it's like all these backdoor things. It's like all these storage companies. Same thing too. Like I didn't like the fact that X required me to give my government ID. Like I protested. I lost my blue check mark and I was just like, I'm not doing that. Right. Again, but eventually I did because it's not my account. I've never viewed my account as mine. It's like all the people that helped build it. It's like I'm walking with. And if I don't have the blue check when I retweet or I do want to help other people, then whatever, I'll take a hit. It's not like they don't already have my face. Like I fly and you know what I mean? It's like my name is out there because I was such an idiot. Not an idiot, but again, it's like I don't care. I got nothing to hide. I got on X because the We Charity scandal was brutal. The Kielburger brothers are taking all of our money and doing a whole bunch of stuff in the schools that I was hoping would be out there. But then you get to the point where people like you and others are like, have you heard of Klaus? Have you seen Agenda 2030? Right. And it's just like, then you realize, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm already out there, so screw it. I'm going to keep doing it. But these technological infrastructures, they have so much data on us. Their AI basically can predict what we will do from day to day. I'm super spontaneous. I got a head full of hamsters that from one moment to the next. I got 8 of them in there, and one's like, squirrel, sorbet, coffee, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm a little bit unpredictable, but at the same time, they have enough information to know what our patterns are. And I don't want to be locked in that digital prison, but we're in it. You know, we really don't have a choice. We have the 15-minute cities that are physical, they're tactile, they're real. And then we have the digital
You know,
prison.
I always thought it was interesting. They're like, "Hey, everybody, let's go into 15-minute cities. Have you heard of Vancouver? Everybody, come on in." And they go to Vancouver. They're like, "Yoink, we're gonna steal your land and give it to the First Nation." Is this their end game, or like, are they? What were they? What are they hoping to do? They're like, "Oh, we don't need these guys anymore." Was it a miscalculation?
I think it's one of those that they probably knew, you know, just based on the way that they operate. They already knew when the Cowichan thing was going to come out. They knew probably a decade ago when they were going to announce Musqueam. Just wait, right? You can look at waterways, you can look at parks, you can look at all of the ways they can disrupt infrastructure. You know, they want that division because they need to tear it all down to start again. And again, those 15-minute cities, I think, were a testing ground, right? It's like, okay, you're not going to own anything, but you're going to be happy. They mean it. They literally mean it. And the trick in all of this is no matter what happens, you got to find a way to laugh. You got to find a way to smile at it, right? Yes, we're going to see a lot worse. Yes, a lot of people that we
That's
care
a good
about have
question.
already
Like,
been hurt.
should we be upset that they're stealing the land of the people that voted BC NDP overwhelmingly? Should we be upset about that?
Did they, though?
Okay, fine, fine. If you all right, fine. You want to poke holes in my theory?
Because I can't. I look at, like, I've met so many people, thousands of people in my life, and to me, the vast majority of them weren't crazy. They don't want to see their neighbors suffer. They don't want you
All
and
right, can
I
we
to not have
compromise? Can
opportunity.
we at least say EB's writing deserved to lose their land? Can we compromise there?
I know a few people that live in Point Grey, and I'm like, well, I don't know. They got families, right? It's one of those things. It's like you get to that point where you're looking at it, you're going, yeah, I'd love to stick it to these people. But when you stick it to these people, you know, individually, yes, absolutely. I think that David Eby should lose his house. Absolutely. All of his investments, all of his assets should be put on the table as far as what do we have to give the First Nations in order to back off, sign a treaty, because that's where we're at. It's gross, right? You know, there was treaties that started with Douglas when he got here, and then the people after Douglas, the Douglas treaties, it wasn't Tommy, but after, you know, the people that took the lead, they didn't want to do it. And so we're here today, and we can either do this the way they're doing it, which is going to create nothing but problems, or all of the people that signed on for this, your assets are on the table first, not the entire region of Point Grey, right? But David Eby, Chandra Herbert, you guys are so for this. You guys got to put your houses and all your capital up as collateral and go to prison while we sort this out like adults. Literally, Peyman, it's about adulting because they want us to act like children. They want us to be in high school. They want us to just respond on emotion.
You
They
know,
want the
I
sound
had
bites and
this.
the clips.
I had this like thought experiment, fantasy sort of thing, where you take a law enforcement officer like RCMP or CBSA, and you put him through this talk show kind of Survivor Island, where the people treat them like shit in the same way they treat us. Like he's in there with his wife, and you separate them, and he sees you disrespecting his wife, and he tries to intervene, and you beat the shit out of him. And it's like you make him endure that, so they understand what they're doing to us.
That's the whole thing is do you understand, right? And I've said this hypothetically speaking, again, I'm not actually calling for this, but I guarantee you it would solve the money issue. So you take all the people that have screwed us, the average citizen, I don't care about your race, color, or creed, your gender, I don't care. It's these people and what they've done, right, to just the regular people of this country, right? So when it comes to actually looking at how to resolve this, because again, it comes down to money. Some First Nations, no, it will not. The traditional ones, it will not. They will want to have the 7 generational thinking. They will not be. There's no room for negotiation, right? Some of them. There's 205 of them in this, 204 in BC, right? But in this situation, you put all the people that signed the agreements, including the bureaucrats, the ones behind the scenes that never have to be pulled out into the spotlight, all the real demons of government or the bureaucrats behind the scenes, like the ones that are all moving and shaking, conflicts of interest beyond the ledger would roll out and it would go on for like blocks and blocks, right? So you put them all on an island. This is going to get clipped. So you put them all on an island, right? Just enough food for half. And then you pay-per-view it. And the proceeds go to settle whatever BS they have caused here. Because again, they're so detached. It's kind of like the Hunger Games, right? But again, you are making people starve. The inflation, the food inflation, everything you're doing, all the policies, people are taking drugs, they can overdose, either destroys families. Like they dumped everything on us at the same time. Right as COVID, oh, let's legalize freaking fentanyl. Let's legalize hard drugs. Are you kidding me? I used to think like Ron Paul, smart guy. I do have a ton of respect for Ron Paul, but he's like, I remember him in like 2008. You decriminalize all of it. I don't believe this. No, we now see what happens. but when you add that, when he said that, you didn't have like the compounding existential problems for people. Like how many people are like $200 away from being bankrupt?
To be fair, at the time when he said that, people knew what the definition of a woman was. It was a different world.
Very true. Very true.
Let's see what Andre has to say. Peyman, it's a shame you didn't know me back then. I would have called my friend Vladimir to tell him to let you have the presidential suite. Oh, the hotel thing. Yeah, man, if I'd known you back then, I would have asked your wife, she's Russian, to pull some strings. It was very traumatic for me. I had to pack up my bags and, take a 4-minute taxi ride. It was horrible.
It's kind of nice though to be like, oh, he's in town. Where are you hiding the nukes, Peyman?
It's in my backyard. You'll never find them. But I'm 2 weeks away from developing the nukes. Yeah. American tech companies are in Israel, close to Palantir. The data centers will be used to implement global surveillance. What are your thoughts on what's going on with AI? Like, is it literally they're trying to enslave us all?
I think it's like you have the competing AIs, right? You have information, right? Like when you think of, I just came across Claude recently that's pooling all of the different data, the different AIs out there. I'm not sure how effective it is, but it seems to be like a tool that is very effective. So I would say Claude is the closest to Ultron as far as like the taking all the data and coming to the conclusion that human beings are the problem. Right. But it's like the ability for them to capture, like, and I'll come back to Palantir because Peter Thiel is a very interesting character. You could do an entire episode on him, and then the company Palantir, right? Because they keep coming up, and it's weird for me because I'll be on conversations or I'll be on, just like you don't know where people are at with as far as they're like. I don't want to use the term awake because again, I think it's overused.
Retarded. You can call them retarded.
Wicked retarded, but. Peter Thiel's name and Palantir keep coming up. And when you look at the systems and you look at the connectivity and where he comes from, it is scary. I saw this map and it's like this whole Lord of the Rings map that was kind of like laid out. I'll see if I can find it. And right in the corner, as far as like the starting point, there was a bunch of companies and there was Palantir. And I'm looking at that, I'm going, okay. And as more time goes on, I'm like, oh, whoa. Right. So it's like Machiavelli, when he released The Prince, he's like, I'm just going to show everybody how it's done. They all thought that he was teaching people. It's like, no, the ones that understand Machiavellian approach, it's kind of I think it was one of those biggest mind Fs that he was in prison when he wrote that. He's just like, I'm just going to tell everybody how to do it. I'm just going to, you guys put me in here. Screw you. I'm going to let the game be known. And how many hundreds of years later, people are still reading the book, not realizing that he was massively trolling the establishment when he released that book. That's my theory as far as why he did that. But with this map I was looking at, it was kind of the same thing. It's like whoever put that map together clearly knew that there is this technocracy that has already surrounded us, right? You can think about it, right? It's like with all the stuff that's in there, all of the, even just being on X and doing other things, that being on social media. Part of the reason why I think that social media exists is they don't want us out in the streets. They don't want us in the coffee shops talking about the government and all the things that are going wrong. They don't want us to humanize what's actually happening. They want it to be digital. They want us to get that release when you shitpost. Oh, I feel better. Perfect. I don't need to worry about it. That post did well. Fantastic. I made a difference in the world today. Really? Did you though? So it keeps us there. But I think with Peter Thiel and the data collection, I think they're already there. If they wanted to, or they already are. We'll see, right?
You
With
know,
Bill
the
C9,
rug
C8.
the rug pull I was talking about in Vancouver, where they said 15-minute city, greatest thing ever, come on in here, and then they steal the people's land. They did that with social media. Why do you need to go out in the real world? Come on to the virtual world. It's amazing. Oh, sorry, Peyman Askari. We're gonna deboost your show to shit. Thanks for signing on and annihilating your ability to function in the real world. Now we own you.
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy your whiskey, sir, because we are not going to let your voice be heard. And that's why you got to keep doing it, as disheartening as it is, right? That's what they want. They have so many tools, psychological weapons that they can use, right, to make you feel that there's no hope, to make you feel like you got to put your sword down and your shield down and just be like, whatever. I've been here long enough. I'm not sure how old you are, man, but I'm almost 50. I've seen so many wars in my life, not like wars, but I've been in so many wars that I'm built for this in many ways. I'm just not going to let it get to me because I have people I care about. I know people that count on me, and so
Really,
that's what
Kris
it is,
Erikson
really.
in camouflage behind enemy lines. So you're
Mm.
killing people with your
No,
military
man,
might.
I am the friendliest guy at the legislature to the point that I think I'm annoyingly friendly. People that I know from my past that I know hate me. How you doing? Good to see you. Right? Just smile and nod because you don't matter to me. You don't. I'm a professional. I'm not there to. It's again the high school shit that goes on there and in politics and in government, the bureaucracy and stuff. I've got no time for it. Right? I said to a couple people, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to make enemies. I'm here to do a job. Right? Because people, they like to come up to you and ask you questions. They want to know this and this, and I'm not your guy. Nope. You want to ask my boss? Go ahead. Don't come to me with the bullshit behind the scenes. I'm going to get an espresso. The lady who works at the little bar, the snack bar outside, which allows me to not go to the legislative dining room, is awesome. The only place on the entire property that sells espresso. I'll see you at 8:05 every morning. It's the little things, Peyman, that truly matter in the end.
Yeah, a little bit of whiskey in there as well. Andre Milosh, Mark Carney stated that Canada is ready to contribute to the security of the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, what are we going to send? Canoes? What do you think of this statement? Will Canada send tampons? I mean, we have a massive supply of tampons. If you dropped all the tampons in the men's bathrooms in the military in the Strait of Hormuz, all you would have is just tankers and the seabed. Everything would be soaked up.
I don't even know what to say because this is our reality. Yes, there will be tampons on any frigates that go. Yes, there'll be tampons in any care packages that we send. You can just see it. Like again, like I used to have the Canadian military, right? Like again, but the idea that on one they got like a freaking this is a man, right? He's got his clips on one side, pockets, everything there, and then you just see the little freaking on the other side of his vest. He's just got these little pull strings.
There was
What
there was a
what have we
guy
become?
in the Korean War, the guy who replaced what was it, General MacArthur. They called him Iron Tits. He had like a knife and a flashlight. And today, if they send the Canadian, it would be like or tampon tits.
Yeah,
Just two tampons, soft
and with the
tits.
little strings.
Yeah, yeah.
Like again, that's like so demoralizing as well too, right? Because I've met so many veterans, and sadly, a lot of them were homeless, right? Like these are people that went to war for their country. They in many cases believe that they were misled. This is like a decade ago, right? But they put their lives on the line. They let their families, I have a lot of respect for those that are willing, even though I know that a lot of times the people when they charge the beach, they're uninformed and you're a pawn in the tool of a much larger game. But in this situation, what they've done to our military is so disgusting. You watch them. I think it was you that posted, or JP. where they're doing a march. No one's in shape. No one is is lockstep with the foot movements. It's like you couldn't even practice, right? Call in sick. Don't go out there and do that, because that's not going to inspire enrollment, right? Or confidence or pride. And again, it's the one thing, you may not support the Canadian military. You may think that, all war is primitive, which I kind of do think. But again, like these people are they should be they should be highly trained. And I bet you if you asked any one of them, it's like, if they got a pocket, I'd much rather have another 30 in a clip. No, I don't need tampons. But will you be demoted if you say no? Because you never know if a guy is out in the battlefield and he's bleeding and he's like, I need a tampon.
Yeah, we need a tournament. Do we have a belt? No, we got tampons. All right.
It's embarrassing. I feel for our military, right? It's what are we doing, guys? It makes no sense. Guys and gals, again, but
they got to do a comedy like you got like a Canadian assassin going around. He's using the tampon string as like fiber wire, killing all these people.
That little intricate setup, like in the Mexican tie or whatever. Like if you've seen the movie The Counselor, again, Brad Pitt, the guy just walks over and puts this thing over Brad Pitt's neck, and it's got on a timer, and it's just tightening and tightening. You could just see it, like the tampon just spinning. Time is short, people. Look out for the Canadian tampon assassin.
Oh man,
the fact they even said that, it's like, good to see you, Remy.
Don Buckley is here. It's good for you. Thank you for the repost. Remanded. Well, he's the guy that was following up with all the election integrity issues. Does anyone in the legislature even care?
There are some that do. There was just it's actually, this is a good time to actually advertise it. I talked with Remy yesterday, and I want to start doing night calls again, and I'm going to bring him on hopefully next week to be able to give everybody an update with where he's at, because there's been some interesting things that have happened with some committees. I don't want to steal the thunder. I think it's one of those things where, kudos to him for having the patience to deal with this system, the Kafka-esque nature that it is. But I think that it's one of those things where I don't want to steal thunder, but he's got a lot to say. He's not given up yet. I know that for sure. But what his ability to stay calm and cool under pressure when all you're getting is BS on the other side. I think there was some MLAs that are paying attention. Some of them, with regards to, I don't want to, if I say too much today, then it's kind of taken away. What I will say is for sure that next week Night Call will be returning. I just don't know what date yet. And Remy is going to be the special guest. He's going to give an update with everything that he's doing and what the future looks like. And by then I might have something that I can speak to that's more clear in regards to the opinions of some of the MLAs at the legislature, but I cannot speak out of turn. So that's all I got to say.
When you say Remy, you mean the remanded?
Yeah.
We got a question from iCoyote, Don Buckley. Are the MLAs in the legislature with integrity under fear and intimidation?
Speculation. Yeah. Would not surprise me at all.
The speculation is that there actually exists MLAs in the legislature with integrity.
They do. There are. And it's the thing about it too. Like some of them will play I don't know how many, because there's 93, right? But I've met a couple from both sides that, it's not, I don't know if it's fear or intimidation. It's a matter of, we're in the system. We want to try and change things from within the system, but they're the guardrails, the whips, right? Like there's only so much they can do without being thrown out, right? Do I think they should be, like, again, if I was a BC conservative in there right now, I'm an independent tomorrow. Seriously.
We got a comment from JT. Night Call's back. Awesome.
Yeah, I know. The main thing was to make sure that I start off with the remanded, and then I'm going to be talking. I would love to do a PST night call where we bring some of the guests that have been on, just kind of create a family environment there. And then I'll start doing again the podcast hosts, roundtable, and the spaces hosts roundtables again. Yeah, but first of all, one step at a time. The only thing I can confirm for sure is that I'm working with the remanded to try and get him on as soon as possible, hopefully next week, to be able to start night calls again, which I'm looking forward to. I miss it.
Yeah, I've had several conversations with remanded. I've had him on a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. It's kind of telling with your society when they don't care about the core foundational institutions, issues, problems. Uh, elections are one of the more important ones, and no one seems to care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what happened in that 2020 election and the fact that John Rustad did not fight. So close, right? Like, who would have thought that it would have been that close, right? And you don't even fight? Because why? Why? Oh, you're an old guard liberal, potentially established. You know, that's the only reason I can think of is protecting the status quo, right? We got close,
Kris,
but
let
you
me
don't
ask you a
fight.
question. Why did they get rid of John Rustad? He seemed like he was a reliable, dependable dupe.
Um, Ego, I think, and a lot of it, I think, is one of those things where speculation again. I think that there was so much sloppiness, right, within the conservative leadership race that no one really had any faith. What they did at the AGM, the memberships, and all this kind of stuff, like the conservative base are kind of like, so they needed to remove him. At the same time, again, like my past with Rustad was he was a minister and I was kind of a pain in the ass, but there was nothing personal there. It didn't matter if it was him or someone else. I think that he does have like tendencies that are conservative. I think that he is potentially, I don't think he's soulless. I don't think, I don't think he's like this hardcore globalist. But at the same time, he's from that crew, the Christy Clark era people that are all Machiavellians. They're all check pension, check pension. So the sloppiness at the AGM, the way the cell phones, right? When he made everybody put their cell phones down, everyone's going to go through who's the mole, give us your phones, right? Some of the things that he did, and he had Banman as his whip. And again, like Banman was my MLA, he was my mayor when I was in Abbotsford. You don't give that guy power. Come on. Like, seriously. Hi, Bruce. Yeah, again, like seriously, you don't give someone like that power. Again, like, can they get the job done? Yeah, you're a great, like if you're in the mob, but at the same time, you don't give someone like that power. There's no grace to it. There's no ease to it. It's just yelling and beat red and all this kind of
Well,
stuff.
we have somebody in the audience that vehemently disagrees with you, Kris.
I'm not saying that
Alice,
he's not a lying sack of
you're
shit. I'm
too
not
nice,
saying
Kris.
that.
Rustad is a lying sack of turd.
I'm viewing this. I'm not making excuses again for John at all. Right? Do I trust him? Absolutely not. Do I think he needed to be replaced? Absolutely. The reasons why was the question, right? Was the mistakes that were made, the cover, what if you want to call it that, as far as the gerrymandering of the AGM and making sure that Rustad couldn't be removed, like all of this stuff. Again, when he's gone, the same rules are in place for Halford. The same rules are going to be in place for the new leader, right? You don't need kings of parties. A leader is there to guide, is to take the will of the membership and the people around you and be the messenger and keep people in line. These people, they just want to control people. They want to run roughshod over everyone. They want to be in the spotlight. That's all.
I'm surprised that this woke, radical, leftist, lunatic mob didn't take umbrage over the fact that we have a whip in Parliament. It sounds very slavish. Like, we got the slave masters whipping the slaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Alice just mentioned as well too. They say so many things. If you want to pull her comment up as well too, I agree. Like it's this is how they work. They say whatever they have to get elected. The only reason I supported Rustad in the initial part was that he said he'd get rid of Bonnie Henry, and he didn't vote to condemn the Freedom
But
Convoy.
uh, you know that expression, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. This is like fool me 1,348,000 times.
All of them,
Well,
right? That's the same thing. It's
the current lady that's saying she's going to be the leader of the BC Conservative Party. We will get rid of the land declarations and Soji. I'm like, you know what? Like, you don't have to lie to me, man. Like, just why don't you just tell me the truth? Don't tell me anything. Just get in there.
yeah.
I'll vote for you. Let's keep it simple.
And that's kind of what they want, right? And so anybody, again, like all of these old guard liberals, anyone who has been attached to the Christy Clark era. So that's Caroline Elliott through Falcon. You got Millibar, Banman dropped out. He endorsed Fulmer. All of these people that are in the they're not conservatives. They're hijacking the conservative brand because it's a very powerful machine. And they don't want an actual conservative to be representing conservative values. It's a ruse. Whoever takes over is not going to challenge Soji. They're not going to bring back any sense of traditional conservatism.
I was 50-something years old when I learned that most politicians literally lie on the spot in real time knowingly.
Almost all, right? Like there's such a lack of because they think that the general public are fools. And in some ways, they are right. They've been conditioned to not care or to be informed. He wants to conserve his parasitic. Exactly.
John Rustad is a true conservative. He wants to conserve his parasitic privileges. Yeah, it's all about the pension.
And it's the same thing when you look at the conservatives on a federal level. Yes, there's some people in there that are doing good work. The BC, I'll say this right now. The BC CPCHQ is the problem on a federal level. The BC HQ, the Angelo Isidoros, the people behind the scenes for the BC Conservative Party, all need to go. All of them. Get out of the way. Create a liberal party and go somewhere else and do that. Right? I'd say it to his face. Sup, Angelo. Again, nobody likes this guy. Nobody. Why is he there? Makes no sense. I'm sure I'll qualify that. Those that I have encountered, no one holds back. You'd be sitting at the tables in restaurants and people are complaining about this guy, right? They don't even care. They're not even trying to hide their voices all the time. And for some reason he stays and gets to maneuver behind.
Yeah, but I've moved past blaming our leadership. I'm blaming ourselves. So if you look at the Conservative Party, after that catastrophe, the calamity of their leadership race, whatever, the convention, where everyone turned on the party, people complain about the Conservative Party. They say it's not conservative. This is terrible. An election is called. A couple of people stand up. They say, don't split the vote. These goddamn fucking lemming, losers, dickless, spineless, gutless, ballless Conservative Party members, they fall in line. Of 100 people that criticize the Conservative Party, 99 of them will just snap back in line. So I just want to say to them, like, shut the fuck up. Like, just sit down, shut the fuck up, stop pretending like you actually have morals, and just say, I'm a coward and I will vote for them anyway. So I'm not going to share my opinions.
It drives me crazy on the federal level too, right? It makes no sense, right? The people that love to be told how to think and what to do, because they're like, oh yeah, the people pleasing component. It's like, you must vote for this. This is we've determined this is who you have to vote for. No. Why? Because I have principles. That's not conservative. I am not playing your game. Take your establishment and shove it. Nobody knows how to do that for some reason. It's like, who are you? You let other people tell you what you are, what your values are, what your principles are. Why? For the team? It's different when you're playing hockey, right? It's kind of like you're in the trenches. You know what I mean? Like the captain's the captain. You're the guy who's going to be past the puck all the time. Okay, he's your guy. You got a role to play. Is it me going into the corners, making sure I get the puck? Lying down to block a shot? Is it with my shield? Politics is different. Your soul is on the table with politics. And they've corrupted it and bastardized it so much that the team matters more. What if the team is corrupt? The top brass, not all of them, but like you said, like I'm not going to go on the reminded me of a Christmas Vacation where Clark just
yeah hallelujah, pass the Tylenol. Yeah.
Exactly, right? But you're right. The people enable them. If every single conservative member in BC, right? So I'll separate my lack of love for Polyev. If every conservative member right now email, do you want to fix the problem? You got to get rid of the rot. You see the rot. It's right there. And you're going to let the rot consume the party and take it over? Right? So, okay, you got on one side, you have the people that are running, right? There's some conservatives, there's some liberals. I still think it's going to be a BC liberal, right? The executive of the party, the board, of the party that enabled all of this, facilitated all of this bullshit that we've seen since the rise of populist conservative value. Like it, John Rustad took over a grassroots movement, they co-opted it, and now they've diluted it into a sense that we're supposed to accept the BC Liberal or, you know, 1BC. There's, you know, again, there's a lot of other things in motion. So yeah, if you're a conservative member right now, say clear out the executive, all the people that are making the decisions behind the scenes, all the people that removed candidates in the last election because of a difference of opinion on something. Right, there were some candidates that were removed for a single tweet about the vaccine mandates.
Well, I mean,
right?
it was
Screw you, Angelo.
House, Jan Webb was another one. There was a couple actually. I guess Dallas Brody as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple. Well, we're at the 90-minute mark. Let's see one final comment from Andre. All current politicians are incapable of debating because they are uncultured and ignorant. There are 3 exceptions to this rule. Peyman, JP, and Kris. You can send your check to my offshore account. Sure, Andre, we'll give you 25% of our earnings this month. So expect a check for $0 in the mail.
I was just going to say, you owe us money.
Yeah. Yes, on that note, Andre, if you want to donate a super chat or give, send, go to the Hungry Podcaster Foundation, you're welcome to.
The Hungry Teddy Bear Foundation.
Yeah. The starving teddy bears. Yeah. For only $1 a day, you can feed a teddy bear for a year. Yeah.
So this is Christmas, and what have you done? That song that we've heard over and over again for 30 years.
Well, Kris, why don't you get you haven't been here for a while, so why don't you give us the final words?
Sure. Yeah, it's one of those things. Life is busy, but at the same time, I definitely miss this, you know, with you and JP. It's like the one thing that allows me to get away from it all and just kind of have fun with it, right? But yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'll be back next Tuesday and Thursday, and I've sent you the schedule, and I'll do my best to kind of get my Wi-Fi going. But yeah, thank you for everyone that's sticking with us through these adjustments and through all of the BS that the algorithms are trying to do to keep our voices silent. So we appreciate each and every one of you for showing up and contributing to the show. I'm never going to give up. I'm going to keep going no matter what. But I want to encourage everyone that's listening to not give up. Right? Reset every morning. Be grateful for what you have. Don't yearn for what you don't. But no, you know, you're here for a reason. If you haven't figured that out yet, keep looking, keep searching. But most importantly, spread light, positivity. Don't let them get you down. Don't hang your head. Screw them, and develop that mentality every day. Bring that into the world, and you will affect people, and you might not even know it. So that's my thoughts for the evening. Good to have a chance to hang out again, Peyman. I look forward to Sunday as well. So thanks. I'll leave it there. Go ahead.
I'll see you on Sunday. To the audience, we're trying to get Cynthia Chung, Matthew Ehret's wife, on for Monday. We'll put out, if we can confirm that, we'll put out a note about that, and she'll be talking about Iran and you know what the hell we're doing in there. But Kris, as always, it's a pleasure. Take care.
Take care, everyone.